Hey guys, what's going on and welcome back to Shifting Lanes 2. My name's Chad and today we are talking about something we can all relate to, our first cars. Most of the time you're just so excited to have that freedom your own car provides, you don't really care what it was. And in our cases, some fairly boring, lackluster cars. I mean, personally, I had probably the best out of the bunch, which is a fun little car that we'll talk about later on in this video. But let me know down in the chat below, what was your first car? Did you have fun with it? And did it meet an untimely end? Because some of ours actually did. Mine got totaled, Hanson had bits of his fall off, and well, I think Greg's car might actually still be living, who knows. But at any rate, let us know your first car and what was your best experience with it down in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, give us a thumbs up, share it with a friend, and ring the notification bell so you get all the Shifting Lane stuff as we release it. These stream highlights, which are a lot of fun if you want to check out the stream, every Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on our Facebook page and on Shifting Lanes Live on YouTube. They're a lot of fun. We love connecting with you guys. But again, ring that bell so you get all of those videos and all of our vlogs, which include Greg's V60 Polestar, an amazing performance Volvo station wagon, my Mustang, which in very short order will have a ton of horsepower, Hanson's Veloster. A lot of really cool cars live in this space, so you're not going to want to miss it. But that's enough of me, guys. I'll check you in the next video. Enjoy. Here's an interesting thing from chat. Jose Moreno asks, what were your guys' first cars?
Ooh, good question.
Yeah, that's a really good question.
I think Hanson loses this argument because I know what he had, and it was the worst of the three of us because I know what Chad had.
Yeah, so I'll start.
Yeah, you go.
A 1994 Ford Tempo. It was four doors. It was beige. It was like beige exterior, beige interior. It was like plastic fantastic on the inside. When you turn on the headlights switch would eventually melt, and then the switch would be stuck in the on position. So the only way you could turn off the lights is to basically pop open the hood and disconnect the battery. Yeah, there it is. That's it right there. It's not my exact one, but yeah.
That's a fantastic car.
Yeah, it
also,
was.
No, it's not. That's a terrible car.
It was terrible.
A terrible car.
I do remember driving, and it was getting off of a highway, you know, like a roundabout, and then I guess the centripetal forces just kind of like got the muffler off the car. I heard like scraping, and all of a sudden the exhaust got really loud, and I checked my rearview mirror. You see this muffler that's just detached, tumbling down the road.
That's how I imagine all Ford Tempos dying, is something falling out of the bottom, and then you looking behind and something tumbling down the road. Probably the engine. That's how I imagine all of those cars had died. No junkyards. Just as they were rolling, they were like, nah, I give up. And then it just goes.
It did not blow up. It was traded in for about $500.
So mine was not much better. Mine was a 1998 Ford Taurus. And yes, it was the Jelly Bean, which I threw a very sweet chef's kiss Rockford Fosgate 10-inch sub in the back.
Nice.
And basically rattled the rear subframe off the car, which was awesome. So yeah, it was definitely my high school ghetto blaster, and it was utterly fantastic. It was the worst six-cylinder engine I think of all time. It had like 180 horsepower, but it felt like 90. It really felt like it had about half that.
It
was just
beautiful.
Oh yeah, look at that, and it was that color too, because Chad knows. Because Chad and I have been friends since we were like, what, 6?
Oh, God.
So Chad knows this car very well, and it was trash. Because the roof actually had like this like rake imprint in it, it looked like, because it used to be a salesperson's car, and I think someone put like a crate or a box up top and then just like got it off the car, and then they got really crummy touch-up paint and tried to like trace the lines on the top. It was so bad that our friend Keith, actually, when I was over at his house, I had parked under one of his trees, and he thought that his tree was dripping sap on my car and bubbled paint. That's how bad this paint was. So it was horrible. It was just, and it had the cloth interior with the big jelly bean center console. it was garbage. It was just garbage, but it had a Rockford sub, and I loved it. And hey, it was transportation in high school, so I can't complain that much. But that car lived on for a long time. We gave it to my uncle after that, and then my uncle sold it to his neighbor, and it lived for another 15 years. I think it just died a couple of years ago.
I remember we used to go, so like in high school there was a local deli that we would all.
Oh God!
Is our buddy in here who's still in school?
I already know what story you're telling.
Is our buddy who's in school here? Because stay in school, kids, don't cut class. But we would cut class.
Yes.
We'd go to the deli and oftentimes see teachers there that, in one case, in my case, was supposed to be teaching the class I was cutting. Figured that one out.
Yes.
I just remember the one time we're leaving, and for reasons unknown, I don't remember. We weren't going out the regular exit. You were going out this like exit halfway down the parking lot and stuff like that. I don't remember the specifics, but I remember you terrorizing poor like young woman.
Oh no, I tagged her Chrysler LeBaron, and she was beside herself. So what happened was there's just a T intersection to pull out. What happened was I was making a left, and as I was making a left, I was looking. I did the left, right, left, and as I was pulling out, she decided to cut the corner and try to get in front of me. I came out and literally hit her back quarter panel. Meanwhile, my car has like a scrape on the front. Her entire quarter panel like folded on itself.
Oh no.
But Ford Taurus held up quite nicely too.
Okay, so my first car was a 2001 Ford Focus ZX3. It was actually my first two cars because, well, first I Tommy Boy'd the driver's side door, and 3 days before,
Literally folded it on itself.
and 3 days later, we fixed it. So like the bodywork was a little janky and stuff, but like we got it to the door actually closed and everything worked fine. And I think it was like 2 or 3 days before it went to the body shop to get actually fixed. I what's the word I'm looking for here? Crashed it rather unceremoniously. That I've told that story quite a few times. Let's just say I bounced off a guardrail, hit an embankment, airbag deployed, missed me completely, and the burning smell of the airbag snapped me back to reality. The second Focus was one of the first vehicles I started modding, and well, that was kind of my gateway drug to what I'm doing now, and that is, supercharging a Mustang and stuff like that. So the car was actually a ton of fun. I remember one of the actual, like, within the first week of me driving that car, I forget where Greg and I were going, but we were going somewhere and hang out. Like, I don't know if it was like to a party or to a local hangout or something, but we were parked on a slight incline, or stopped at a slight incline at a stoplight. And I had been driving manual for a couple weeks at this point. So I didn't want to roll back into Greg. So what I ended up doing was arguably one of the best burnouts I've ever done in my life. Right in front of Greg, leaving him in a cloud of tire smoke. Unintentional. Now I do that on purpose, but that was kind of one of the more fun things. It was actually a fun little car. And that's why I like it.
Yeah, of our cars, that's the best. By a considerable margin.
By
Tempo,
far. Yeah.
Taurus.
I would say the Tempo and the Taurus is probably like very closely third place.
Yes. Yeah, I know, definitely yes. Yeah.
But
I'd probably give the Tempo the third place just because of the age of it.
Yeah.
And it's the only reason, because
Yeah.
they were both they were very similar cars, cloth interiors, really crummy plastic, everywhere. So yeah, they're very close to third, and then there's Chad.
Yeah.
There's a nice gap there.
Because
I also think it's interesting we all had Fords.
Yeah, right.
Car.
yeah, that is interesting.
You know,
Now, that year car, you said 2001 Ford Focus, right, Chad?
yes, sir.
That was a really beautiful looking car back then, and there wasn't a lot of hatchbacks that you could choose from. I think you had the Honda Civic hatchback.
The
I
EK,
think this
I think at
was-
the time.
Yep, the EK, right?
Yeah.
The EK hatch in the 2000s, early 2000s,
Yeah.
late 90s. Yeah, EK hatches are great cars.
Yeah. So it's like it was. I don't think hatchbacks were big in the States at the time, and there wasn't really like a lot of options. But when that came out, I saw that, I was like, wow, that looks really cool.
If you think about it, like the Focus kind of ended up looking common, but when it was released, it was like nothing else on the road. And Ford had kind of a history of that with the original Taurus. the fact that the original Taurus looks so bland and common today is a testament to what it was when it first came out, with the flush headlights, aerodynamic shape and things like that. Ford was kind of killing.
It's a good looking car.
Yeah, and I think these in RS and SVT trim looked really good.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, totally forgot about the SVT trim.
The old SVTs of those were very good. I know, Chad, you and I were lusting after those things back in high school. They're really cool. Like, those look great. Like, I would own that now. I think that's a fantastic looking car. Design's really good. 2-door hatch coupe with, like, I would imagine those are 17s or even 18s on it. It looks really good. That's a modern design that I think has aged very gracefully.
So I'm going to look up old Ford Focus prices, see if what we could get.
Well, I bet the SVTs you can probably find between $5 and $7 grand right now. Maybe 10 tops for like low mileage.
Actually, it's funny, those Ford motors from back in the day were like sneaky good at making power, especially like NA and stuff like that. Yep. But this was my high school Halo car, because like the Focus got me into rally. We couldn't get the RS. This was, it got a 30 horsepower bump from factory, still an NA 2-liter.
30 horsepower on an NA motor is no joke when you're driving a small a car that small. Wow, words. That 30 horsepower bump on that is really good, and I'm sure that's a pretty light car. I'd imagine that's under 3,000 pounds. I'd imagine it's probably 2,900-ish something, but still, that's like, throwing, what happens when you throw 20 extra horsepower at an NA Miata?
Oh yeah,
really wakes up.